Oktoberfest. Which y'all wear Lederhosen.
What's the? Oh, you talking
It's
about
the traditional German.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, if
Word.
you play fifth, that's your club.
Fuck
you
it,
gotta,
nigga.
fuck yeah,
Word.
Shit.
We good to go?
I'll be there with the shades like Oli said
Shades
too.
Type shit.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Episode 66. Let's clap it up. 5ASIDE podcast. Episode 66. Excuse me. I can't even count no more, bro. I don't know what we're going to do once we get past 100. But once again, welcome to the 5ASIDE podcast. Today, you are joined by...
What's going on, y'all? Sub.
That's mad funny. I don't know why I was going to Josh to go with Gabriel.
Yeah, good to see y'all again. It's Josh.
For sure. Appreciate y'all for pulling up to yet another episode, you know, fresh off the 10K to 11K on IG. And speaking of appreciation, we have lots of appreciation for the people over at EA Sports.
Yes, sir.
Big shout out to EA Sports and EAFC for passing us over a copy of FC25. And as you can imagine, we know who the cover boy is. We know who the star boy is. My boy Jude Bellingham. Much, much deserved. Absolutely big vibes. I mean, come on. Iconic celebration for an iconic game in its second rendition with a rebranding of EAFC. Really exciting game. Once again, another new version of it with some new features. Josh, I know there's a new feature you're very excited about.
Yeah, bro. I mean, listen, one of the big things about EAFC that's new is the fact that in career mode now, they're going to have women clubs available. That means that you can have a women's player as your career.
As you should. First one was FIFA 06.
Just talk about FIFA 06, yeah.
Yeah, so FIFA 06 on the PlayStation 2 was my first FIFA that I ever played. Ronaldinho and Wayne Rooney on the cover. It's crazy to see the growth of like the gameplay. Like that was super, super arcadey. I remember once you had a free kick in a certain position, I was scoring that no matter what. Bro. Especially with a top team. Chelsea was great in that game. Real Madrid, obviously. Barcelona, Manchester United, just automatic goals. Very different game. Pure pace. Oh, man, it was a lot of fun, though.
I'm not going to lie. FIFA 06 for me as well. It was a white and gray cartilage on the Game Boy. That's when I started, you know, even Roberto.
Bone cartilage?
Cartridge. Nah, you good, though. You good, bro. Listen, education.
I thought maybe it was past me. I didn't know the word.
It felt
Seb ain't
good.
know we put that shit in the knee, bro. It was really a game, you know what I'm saying? Before VR, we you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, funny. Nah, facts. But nah, cartridge, FIFA 06 cartridge. And that's when I was beaming it with Roberto Carlos, bro, off the left.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Different.
But it was very archaic. Totti was running around doing things with him. It was fun. It was fun, bro.
Not the first FIFA that I played, but probably my first favorite FIFA was 2010 when they came out with the South Africa World Cup edition.
I love that, bro.
And the soundtrack was just mad lit. They had just like a waving flag, and then it goes back, and then it goes back.
Bro.
They had the song with Nas and Damian Marley on there too. Like the soundtrack was fire. And I think that's the first year that they like released a World Cup specific version within the game. Like you didn't have to purchase a separate game. You can just like download the pack or whatever.
Oh, you could download it.
I think so, yeah.
Because I actually played the FIFA 06 World Cup game too. But it was a separate game though.
I feel like this one, it was like, oh, download the update, and it's like...
It's fire.
If you have FIFA already, you can just download the... That shit was lit. Everybody was playing with the countries.
And it had every country in the game. Every FIFA country. You could play as anyone that was a FIFA country.
Yeah.
Versus regular FIFA, usually they have, what, 40 nationalities maybe?
Nah, they be leaving people up.
Oh, of course.
That was probably
or they have the
Kendrick's
non-official
favorite.
jerseys, too, for certain nationalities.
That was Kendrick's favorite FIFA before I used to bust his ass on
Woo!
FIFA.
I don't know about all that.
Damn, bruh.
That's what used to go on, bro.
Damn.
That's
Seb, what you got,
for the
FIFA 15 or
fixture?
something like that?
So you could put it...
You got FIFA 13 for Seb.
I played on the iPad. I played FIFA 13 on the iPad.
Your first FIFA was on the iPad.
On the iPad?
I wasn't.
I
You're
had
a
to
you.
finance my own console, so I had an iPad. I had an iPad for like 4 or 5 years. So I played FIFA 13.
Bro was dragging his finger.
Yep. I played career mode FIFA 13 for like 3 years.
Career mode on the iPad?
On the iPad, yeah.
That's nasty.
I probably got to
work.
2040.
I'm not gonna lie.
Word.
Shot,
This is
flick shot.
Yep.
I'm
You
not
like
gonna
twist
lie
the
though.
iPad?
I feel like the iOS FIFA was kind of lit.
It's
wasn't
better than you.
bad.
I've played it before on the
Better
phone
than-
too.
Yeah, like back in the day.
I played 2K on it too.
Yep.
Where you have to,
It's better
I kind
than
of
you think.
remember that.
Which one did you play?
Like iPod or something. Like
Yeah. There was some there's kind
there's
of
like one part, like half the screen is where you like
Yeah,
move the thing, and
exactly.
then the other one is like you
I play
click
in
to
class,
shoot.
yeah, and you could connect it to your like Xbox account.
Mhm.
So like your
Yeah.
ultimate team could be on also. On
That's
your phone.
crazy.
That's
It wasn't
fire.
bad.
I played recently on the Switch, which is, even though it's modern, it's very arcadey too. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
it
not
has
as
to
powerful
be.
as the Xbox or PS5, but yeah. What was you about to say, Josh? My bad.
No, I was gonna say, like, you know how, for instance, some people like playing like COD or like first shooter games on the not on the console, on the computer.
Yeah.
It's easier to maneuver. Is that the case with iOS?
No, I don't think so.
nah.
It's not easy.
It's just like gamey, like
Yeah.
it's like more arcadey than
It feels like you're playing what's the game where you like have to like swipe you know the free kick game? Y'all know the free kick game.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called.
Possibly the name I'm forgetting though.
It's just free kicks, like
Yeah.
an app game
Yeah.
type shit.
It's like you pass and then you pass and you pass and you shoot.
Yeah.
What is the game
I know. I know what you're
Probably
talking
called
about.
like Tekkers
I would
or
have found
something.
it.
I don't know.
I would have found
Yeah.
it. Y'all talk, I'll find it.
Probably something like that. Yeah.
Type shit.
Crying. But a little bit more appreciation. Big shout out to Cafe Arzuli, who we just hosted our first edition of Footy and Flavors, our brunch series with Cafe Arzuli. This first matchup was for Arsenal versus Man City. We'll get into the game, but how were the vibes for the night, y'all? Or for the morning, actually.
The vibes were immaculate.
Mhm.
Early 10 a.m. start.
Feel me?
Folks were in ready, drinking coffee, having breakfast, eggs, frittatas, waffles. Music was going.
Mm-hmm.
Laughter was going.
Come on, bro.
Smiles were going.
For sure.
And it's just cool to bring to life like another space where people can come together,
Mm-hmm.
enjoy each other's company, and not feel like they're like out of place or maybe in a place that like they might not feel as comfortable in. So it's good to see.
Yeah. Nah, great time. Excited for many more. Just the first of many. Great matchup. We got another one coming up that we'll talk about later. But yeah, big shout out to Mark. Big shout out to Cafe. But speaking of that watch party, the biggest thing, of course, was the match itself. The highlight match of the recent few seasons of the Premier League has been Manchester City versus Arsenal. Super exciting game, very hectic. City got off to an early Haaland goal, which feels like, damn, City at home, Haaland scores early. It's going to be one of those matches. Out of nowhere, your man's Calafiori with an absolute out-swinging banger, which is not the type of goal you usually see from distance. He makes a 1-1. Gabriel gets the header to make it 2-1 heading into halftime. Trossard, very controversial red card. Pretty boring second half, but
God.
Man City gets a last
Terrorism. Jesus
second
Christ.
ugly
Terrorism.
equalizer and completely takes it from Arsenal, who with 10 men did not even remotely try to go and win the game to most fans' viewing points, which gets into a quote from Bernardo Silva, Manchester City baller, who obviously has been very successful with the club, saying the difference between the rivalry with Arsenal and Liverpool, maybe that Liverpool has already won a Premier League and Arsenal hasn't. That Liverpool has won a Champions League and Arsenal hasn't. That Liverpool always face us trying to win the game. So that's been a little
Was he
bit
rapping?
of a... What?
you gotta put
the sauce on it. The ether beat.
bro. You gotta put the ether beat over
Put
that.
it in the
bro.
clip, bro. Put the ether beat.
You gotta
in the
put
clip.
the ether.
And
beat
Arsenal
over
has
that.
it.
So,
And Arsenal has it.
that was me. I put some sauce on it. But I mean, he's actually not wrong.
No, he's not.
Other than, I guess, the last point you can debate. But trophy-wise, in the time of their rivalry, what are y'all thoughts on
The not winning it thing is kind of whack. Like they should have won the game. The red card fucked up the whole dynamic of the game. Like once you go down 10 men against the best team in the world, arguably, like you have to sit back, bro.
Yeah.
There's not much more
Yeah.
you can do. You know, like objectively,
Yeah.
like you can't just start throwing numbers forward. And when there was a few times in the match where they tried to, but like once they get dispossessed, it's like everybody got to come back and help, bro.
I think he means in general, too. Because I will say there was a couple of very tactical, kind of boring Arsenal City games versus
Yeah.
City Liverpool be way more hectic. But that's
But
also tactics and
It's
coaching.
tactics,
and Arteta
bro.
versus
Yeah.
Klopp.
Against that team, it's hard to go out and
Yeah.
be like, yo, we got to go all out and try to win, especially if that's not how you typically play. Like,
Yeah.
I just think
Klopp ball has always been like very
Yeah.
fast,
We'll go for
attacking.
it.
Arteta plays like, or coaches like Guardiola, who is his mentor.
Yep.
So.
Why are we bringing up style of play?
Well, I think that feeds into the point
The
of
rivalry?
He said they don't. He said that Arsenal doesn't come out and try to win games against them.
Okay.
compared
So
to
that- I
Liverpool.
I think that's also didn't Rodri say something last year too?
about Arsenal.
Or yeah, I don't know if it was
Probably.
about Arsenal, but the fact that they didn't play to win.
Yeah,
Is
probably.
that not style of play?
No, I mean, but that's also mentality. I think Rodri
Yeah.
was hitting on mentality. He was saying like he could see like in their eyes that they're not trying to.
Yeah.
For me,
I think Bernardo's talking about both. He's talking about
Josh.
when we play Liverpool.
put your hoodie back because you can't see your face at all. A little bit,
okay.
just for clips.
Yeah. With Bernardo, what he's saying is like not just the way that you play to approach us, but that translates to the success y'all actually have in terms of trophies. I've seen in my time at City, Liverpool win the UCL. I've seen in my time at City, Liverpool win the Prem. Arsenal, yeah, we got this rivalry, but at the end of the day, we're always on top, which is kind of true.
I mean, like, yeah, it hasn't been like a competition where they've lost. What have they lost to Arsenal in?
I'd have to check. No, Arsenal has one major trophy under Arteta, which was FA Cup 2020, something like that.
Yeah.
5
But
yeah.
an FA Cup. Anyways,
Yeah.
I think that game was a really bad advertisement for how City play football, like that second half.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to shoot.
I mean,
They walk the ball. They try to walk the ball in the net. And
It's
like I
also-
said, it's also due to data science. It's just the fact that
Yeah.
because of the inclusion of that in the game now, it's the highest percentage shot. People are not trying to ross it, bro. One point that you said though, because at first, you see it and you're like, yo, Arsenal, the last play of the game. You
Yeah.
feel bad, like, yo, the last play, how the last play go in. I brought it up to Seb, and Seb was like, at the end of the day, too, the last play is when shit happens. It's like in basketball, when you have two tight teams during the playoffs, it's gonna
Yeah,
be the
final
last two
possession.
minutes that determines the game every time. So if you lose in the last 2 minutes, bro, like as much as you defend the whole time, the buzzer beat is gonna be what kills you.
Yeah, I would
You know
say
what I mean?
footy though, a 97th minute equalizer is a little less rare than like final possession tie game in basketball.
It is at the
but
same.
it do be happening. I'm a Real Madrid fan. I know what happens. Like,
No,
watched
100.
Leverkusen do it all last.
yeah,
season.
facts.
But it's
Less and less rare these days.
bro.
Like anyway, Josh was basically saying like, oh, like they deserved it. Like like they defended for so long. And I'm
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, when you are playing that type of game, it is that last period of time,
It's
those
the
last
last
5
play.
minutes that matter.
Yeah.
So when the whistle is about to be blown is when you have to be the most switched
Oh,
on.
for sure. Yeah,
And they switched off.
they fumbled it
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
Like my thing about Arsenal is like, bro, if
Mm.
y'all really
No.
gonna win the Prem,
Wasn't it like a deflection? Like it was a shot
Doesn't
that
matter,
bounced
though.
off somebody
I
else.
agree.
and
But so for the
kinda
entire
like,
game,
it's just
It's
unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, bro.
but how the unfortunate, there's yes, of course it's unfortunate, but it keeps happening to Arsenal and not City. So now what happens? You feel me? Like
Yeah.
y'all niggas got to just win the game. Let's
Yeah.
be real. You're not winning the Prem this year if you can't. Like,
Yeah.
Arsenal, it be right there.
Yeah.
And when they lose by 2 points, it be these moments.
Yeah.
It
And
happens every season.
for
bro.
example, Inter's coach Inzaghi, he will never leave a player on the field with a yellow card ever. The second a player gets a yellow card, he takes it off.
the second.
I just didn't
No, it's true.
understand.
If you watch Inter play,
Yeah.
the moment players get yellow carded, they honestly like almost phase out of the game until they get subbed.
So funny, son. No, if that's
That's how they play tactically.
Yeah,
He's
but-
like he doesn't risk red cards.
You just
Yeah.
want to speak on the red?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
That was a
like
crazy red. That was not a red
yeah.
I agree. It wasn't a red.
at all.
It wasn't a red.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what do we think happens? Like, does this affect the title race at all? Do you think
Eh.
City was always going to win? Does anyone think Arsenal was ever going to win? The
I
league
mean,
title
but
this season? It's obviously very early.
I feel like I don't know. Watching the game, I feel like Arsenal deserves to win. Like they were the better team for like a decent amount of games. The red
Yeah.
card fucks the whole game up. Like even the conversation we're having about City, the way they're playing.
Yeah.
How else are they supposed to play against 10 men in their own box defending?
Well, you
No,
could shoot
that's
at
not
the
what I'm
top of the
saying.
box.
Yeah, I feel like we're all like Arsenal defending the whole time. Is
Yeah,
what
Arsenal
it is.
did what they had.
No, but I'm just saying that to say like I don't think this game was like Arsenal fumbled. Like they actually like should have won that game. It's unfortunate that they didn't due to the referee and a number of circumstances.
That's to me all that matters is the point of like like to win title races in these key,
have to win
key
ugly.
final
You have to win
moments.
ugly.
I agree.
You have to win ugly, and you have to see out the result. You have to suffer, as coaches love to say. You have to know how to suffer.
Yeah.
Real Madrid gets that 3 points, or when Barca's at their best, or City gets the last second draw instead of losing, right? Or Milan when they were winning titles. Like you have to get those points. And for me, for Arsenal, I just don't see how they're gonna win the Prem being like this. That's all.
I don't know. I guess to me, it just wasn't it wasn't a display of like, oh, they're gonna fumble now because that they played a lot
No.
better than I feel like they played against City last season.
And that might make it even worse because the result's the same.
that's how you feel.
You got even
You
closer
feel like
and
that
still
was an
lost.
indication of Arsenal is the same old Arsenal?
Nah, to me, like as somebody who be like, I mostly watch the Prem.
Mhm.
I think they look better than they did last year against City, and that to me is like an indicator
You think
of
it's
like
improvement?
how they're gonna play against other teams throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Sure.
How did y'all feel about Haaland telling Arteta to humble himself after the
I like
match?
that. I like that.
What,
Not
what,
because
what did our
He
Tottenham do?
patted nothing, bro. They just like
He
they
told-
were like shaking hands after the
yeah.
game, and Arteta was walking past Haaland.
Yeah.
He pat him on the back and said, "Humble yourself, like be humble."
What did Arteta?
And then-
did
and
Arteta
then-
do anything before?
No.
No. And then how
Oh, so Arteta's kind of like, why you say fuck me?
Yeah,
for?"
yeah. No, that's literally how he turned
That's
around.
mad
He was
funny.
like,
That's mad funny.
he turned to Gabriel Jesus. Also, he said, "Get the f away from me." Also.
Gab-
They
I
was
mean,
beefing,
Gabriel
bro.
Jesus was like, "What are you saying? Like, what are you talking?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, type shit, like fuck off."
Didn't Holland had a crazy push from behind out of nowhere? Did he not get a yellow for that?
Mm.
Did y'all see that? He like sprinted up, someone just shoved him from behind.
I think it's good though. Like rivalry should
Oh,
be that
please,
way.
yes.
Rivalry
There's a
should
lot-
be
Y'all
have
that
to
way.
beef, bro.
That's how-
it was a lot of shithousery.
Yeah.
That was
that's how it
really
should be.
good.
Haaland also threw the ball like Gabriel's head
Right after the goal. Yeah.
After the equalizing goal.
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
picked it up in the net.
Wow,
I'm like, bro,
bro.
after that, we might have
On
to
the
square
fresh
up.
braids, too, with the nice design. That's
We might have to square up in the tunnel, bro.
It's crazy.
That's what you want. That's what you want. That's good.
Word.
It's good for the league. It's good for the sport.
For sure. Speaking of something that may not be good for the sport, very unfortunate news that Rodri is out for the season with a torn ACL, fresh off of the best season of his career last year and a high-level Ballon d'Or candidate. Recently, he had talked about the congestion of games and having too many fixtures in the season for players, both at the club and international level, and saying that it might get to the point that players actually have to strike. I think that was only about 5 days before he had just torn his ACL and is now out for the season. Which brings up the point. Of course, you can't say directly this is because more games have been played, but just the concept of too many games being played, do you think it will get to a point where players have to really speak up, come together, and either protest, strike, make a statement through, I think it's FIFA Pro is like the Players Association, whatever it is, Players Tribune article signed off by the biggest names, who knows? But do you think there needs to be some sort of player movement to lower the amount of games?
There's two arguments. There's the argument that, oh, you get paid millions to play a game, go play. There's the argument that no matter how much you play, there's still stress on your body and too much stress on your body and not what you signed up for.
That's a fact.
That is literally ruining your body.
What argument are you on?
I don't know.
Damn.
I swear to God, I don't know.
I don't know side I'm on, but you go ahead.
I don't think any amount of money is worth destroying your body. Like, I think people.
I agree. But then don't play.
No. I think people underestimate the actual like impact or like long-term effect psychologically, physically, everything of like a major injury. I have a coworker who like tore her, I believe it was like her ACL or some major muscle in like this part of her leg, and she is like in recovery for 18 months.
Wait,
and, like
but
I was just thinking.
Don't play.
Huh?
Don't play though.
It's a lot easier.
Like, because no one's forcing them to play.
Okay, the example of my coworker is different. That was just to say like how much of like a recovery it is for players. It's not that easy to just be like, don't play, bro.
Well,
also, this is what they've been like doing for their entire life.
Yeah, but when we get offered something that we don't think is our value, we don't do it.
We have options, right?
They don't have options.
No, if I started playing soccer at 2 years old and this is all I've been doing like to feed my family.
No. I'm saying
I can't just be like, I'm not gonna play.
Play for a club that plays less games, or negotiate a contract with a club that will allow you to play less games.
But that's like telling somebody, oh, you work for like, you've been working so hard to work at this company to like provide for your family, and someone's like, oh, like you're working too much, go work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like, but also like
parents is always so shit.
It's
not what we're saying at all.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
No,
you're saying get paid less and work for a worse club.
No,
Nah,
that's like if you're at work and you're getting worked too much for a pay that you don't think is equal, you look other places.
Yeah, but you're saying
the
they
problem
should
is
work.
The whole sport has an issue of so many games because they.
Seb, are you trying to highlight that the top clubs are where there's more games?
Yeah, there are for sure.
I think that's what you should
top
say.
clubs and international players. So if you're Rodri, who's playing Manchester City, you're playing Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever other thing is in England, and Spain, Nations League, Club World Cup. So Rodri, who is getting paid millions of dollars, is playing the most amount of games because he's playing at the highest level. No one's telling Rodri that he has to play for that club. Rodri can go play for Ipswich. Rodri can go play for a club in Spain. He can go play for a club in Italy. He can.
He can, but I don't think that's the point. I think the point is there's physical limitations on the human body.
Of course.
That has absolutely nothing to do with your bank account. Your quadricep muscles are not responding to the fact that you just got wired this amount of money. So as you just keep adding more and more games, their bodies cannot necessarily handle it. It's like the charts of diminishing returns. At one point, your fitness cannot get there. This is actual just like sports
I
science.
agree with that.
So I'm saying from like what side I'm on is the fact of like, why would you keep going at the top level, adding more games when you're seeing consistently that the best players can't handle it and don't want it? How is that good for the product of your sport? Other than, of course, the TV revenue you get from the extra games. Because
niggas in debt.
I don't think niggas is in debt.
They want more. It's
niggas
just,
is definitely in debt.
Some niggas are in debt. Some niggas just want more money always.
Barcelona.
Barcelona. They're doing great.
Chelsea's probably in debt.
Chelsea.
Man City is committing massive fraud.
No,
everybody's like,
But how do you don't understand what I'm saying? Like no one is forcing them to play.
I know,
It's
but
it's just tough to tell somebody who worked mad hard to like achieve the pinnacle of their dream and be like, oh,
it's also not
nobody's forcing you to do that. Yeah, bro, but also like I shouldn't be forced to overwork my body.
But
to
you're
death.
not being forced to. That's the point.
But you are, because that's
If
your
you're a
job.
healthy player,
It's not.
If you're a healthy
that's,
player,
that's their
wait,
occupation.
it is your player.
Bro.
If
It's
you are a
not,
healthy
though.
player and the coach selects you to play, you have to play, bro.
That's not the case.
You can't just not play and take up the
Why?
wages. They'll terminate your contract.
They won't terminate your contract if you argue that you're being played too much.
Let's see.
That's literally not true, because that's
Let's
what's
see.
happening right now.
Yeah.
So isn't Real Madrid the premier club that's going to rest players during the season?
Well, Madrid.
Didn't Ancelotti say they were going to do that?
You saying Ancelotti rotate
That sounds like
the
a
squad?
question he knows the answer.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, I don't. I'm
what are you saying,
85% sure
Are
that
you asking
Ancelotti-
if he rotates the squad?
I'm 85% sure that at the beginning of the season he said that he was going to give players like vacations within the
85 is
season.
killing me.
I didn't hear about no vacations. I know he likes to rotate the squad, bring the young players.
I know what you're talking about.
I remember seeing
Bro,
a
I know what you're
graphic.
talking
good. Shout out my club. I didn't know.
He's
I
saying
love
that's an
it.
example. He's saying that's
Well,
an
then,
example.
point being, the point is this: the players can't be playing this much. That's my point. The human
That's
body.
for sure. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But when you
But
sign
to
the
say the best
contract,
players, yo, Vinny, go to Ipswich because, like, what?
Yeah,
I think it's more
I'm not
so-
saying Vinny go to Ipswich. I'm saying
That's
Vinny.
literally what you
Yeah,
said.
actually,
No, I'm saying
Said
I'm
Rodri
saying
go to
Vinny.
Ipswich.
If you're complaining about how many games you're playing and no one's forcing you to play those games,
But
then
that's
go
not
somewhere
really
where
the
you're not
question.
being
I
forced.
think the
to play
question
game.
is more: what do we think is best for
That's
the
kinda-
sport?
Bro,
kinda
for
icky.
me,
Kinda icky,
for
You
me
think
though,
this
I have a
many
problem
games
with
is what's-
people signing on to do something, accepting money to do a task that they themselves think is too much
But
to
it
do.
changes
and
every
then-
year.
It
Every
changes.
season, it's more and more games.
I think it's a problem. It's been progressively getting worse.
But
It wasn't
every
even like this
season-
5 years ago, bro.
At the beginning of every season,
You don't have a
they
new
know how many
contract at the
games
beginning
they're
of
gonna
every
play.
season.
No, but they
though.
know how many games they're going to play.
Yeah, but it's like,
If at the beginning of the work season, you're told this is how much you have to do.
first off, they change this shit all the time. Don't get me started.
But imagine they didn't change it. Imagine it was on your calendar. You
Yeah.
knew every single thing that you had to do during the year. And you signed up for it. And you knew the amount of money you're making for it. Then halfway through the year, you start complaining, oh, this is too much work.
But
Niggas are gonna look at you like,
But you
nigga,
don't
but you
know
signed.
the work until you actually do the work.
Yeah,
Same way an
exactly.
artist go on tour, it
and
sounds
that's
amazing.
fair
They
for-
come back to
I don't
rest.
know about that.
Bro,
I don't know about
Bro,
you don't know the work until you do the
bro,
work.
in your example, if I sign up to be an investment banker at JP Morgan and I'm like, all right, I'll work 80 hours a week.
Yes.
I'm signing up. I know it's
Yes.
going to be a grueling task.
Yes.
6 months in, my body's actually physically
Yep.
decaying.
Yep.
I think I have every right to be like, hey, I signed up for this. I thought I could do this.
Right.
This was whatever.
Right.
But like, I'm actually dying.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep working? Or are you gonna
No, but it should be
What
on
are
my
you gonna
employer.
do?
It should be on my
That's
employer.
the point. You're putting
No.
the onus
It should be on my
the
employer
player.
to be like, hey, like my workers are actually dying. Let's see how we can like optimize their health and like also continue to make money.
I think it's on the worker to leave. I don't think it's on the
That's kind of
So-
nasty.
so-
That's
so what
kinda-
you're
I didn't
saying
expect
then-
this from you.
Okay, watch this.
I didn't expect
I
this.
didn't-
Hey,
That's
Mr.
it.
Union.
Word.
He's
Nah, word.
anti-unions.
This is crazy, bro. Are you voting for? Let me show. What was I gonna say? So
No,
you
no.
think if the onus is on the players,
Mhm.
do you think there should be less games?
Yeah.
And if you, so you think players? So that was my original question. Should players protest?
I think players should stop. I think they should strike. I think
Like
they should-
strike. That's
I
what I'm
think-
saying.
I think it
Okay,
should be like, hey,
that's-
don't pay me for the games that I don't want to play, but I'm not gonna play them.
It's a guaranteed salary though, with certain stipulations, of course. But missing a game does not mean you don't get paid. It's not like the NFL with there's certain thresholds you have to hit, as far as I know.
I don't think that if you sign up to do something and then you find that what you're doing is something that you can't handle,
But what
then
about
it's
the
on
fact
the
it's always
employer who
changing?
contracted you. But it's not always changing. They knew at the beginning of the season.
Bro,
In
it-
fact,
it
we
changes,
knew.
bro.
We
Point
knew.
is,
But we
through
knew
your
3 years
career-
ago. We knew 3 years ago that this season was going to be difficult. How long have we known Club World Cup and that the Champions League?
Nah,
final was
we
changing?
didn't. We didn't.
also
know,
don't even know what
they
teams are
didn't-
gonna
they
be
didn't
in
know
the Club
City-
World
They
Cup.
didn't know they were gonna throw City in the summer USA
Yeah,
tour.
bro.
Yes, they did.
No, because
Nigga,
it
it's in our
didn't- it
decks
didn't-
from 3 years ago.
No. No, but it changes every year. Sometimes we get Crystal Palace and Everton. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know which teams are gonna advance as far in the Euro.
He's saying that they do though.
Rodri didn't know he was gonna be playing in the final. At
Yeah,
the
you
Euros.
don't know that.
I mean, Rodri should expect to be playing in the Euros at least semis, quarters.
That's not. How
Give me
sports
quarters.
work.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
No, I think
I
one
hear
question.
you, bro.
Yeah.
One question I think in general for this type of topic is also like just in general like an industry like promoting. That's why I said are niggas in debt. Like if you're gonna promote a healthy like just work environment in general, is that not something that we should want?
That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
think
asking you.
it's
Yeah.
healthy to say what you're willing to do.
No, 100.
and,
But
and have that be your
no,
limit.
of course. But answer my question. Because you didn't answer my question with that.
Should it be health? Should employees want a healthy work environment?
No.
They should employers.
Employers.
So I'm saying, should the football industry reassess itself to see if the amount of games that they're playing is actually ideal for not only the people there, ideal for the fans, or is it that you're saying the football industry could do whatever the fuck it wants to do, and then niggas should pick and choose? Do you see the question I'm asking you? Because it's not like what you said makes sense, but like the football.
No, I think the football industry should schedule as many games as they want to.
Okay.
And then I think players should pick and choose as many games as they want to play.
Okay.
Which would then allow for more youth players to play. It would allow for squads to be extended. It would allow for there to be more revenue in total. And I think that that's a better solution than players saying, hey, I don't want to play when I signed up to play.
It's also not necessarily true because the biggest league in America is the NFL, which plays far less than the NBA, who does better than the MLB, who plays far less than the MLB. So actually the less amount of games is why we have...
I don't know what he's saying.
I'm saying the NFL is the most profitable sports business.
What you're saying is
they
valid.
play less games, and each one has an added importance. Some people don't fuck with the NBA. Not me. I'm a huge Knicks fan because they feel like, regular season doesn't matter. 82 games, who cares? MLB is 164. Yep. So adding more games does not mean more revenue at one point because as you just keep going, people can be like, I actually don't need to watch the game now because it doesn't mean anything. Yeah,
that's a very good
So you're saying just add more games. I'm like, says who?
No,
MLB's doing worse than the NBA.
I don't think he was.
I'm not just saying like randomly add.
Of course. But I'm saying more games has proven to now always be more profitable. You said revenue.
So you think Vinny should be able to tell Ancelotti like, I'm not trying to play today?
I totally think so.
And
Ancelotti,
every player should just be able to be like
1,000%. I think just as a nigga asked for time off, a soccer player could be like, hey, I don't know about this trip to A-Bar next week, bro. Like I don't know.
I think you're forgetting where we are forgetting.
Like they just have PTO. That's a new union argument.
I rock with that, but we have to understand how competitive these players are.
Yeah, but I didn't make you competitive, bro. Like you gotta pick and choose. You can't be competitive. I want to play every game, and also I don't want to play every game because I'm playing too many games.
Well, it could be I want to play every game, but like, yo, why don't we just remove some?
So that you're asking. I mean, I think even Kendrick and Josh think you're asking for too much at that point.
I don't know.
Why you bring me into?
Yo, you see, he trying to get back.
No.
CL can't go back to this other format. And
are you saying
matches?
The players get to say it's too many games, and the players also get to say if you're gonna add too many games, I want to play.
This gotta be a ruthless owner, bro.
I think.
You see what I'm saying?
Seb, I think hold on. I think one thing that can be said about that is you could be like, yo, like you said, if you're competitive, go for it. But if you're competitive, go for it, and then your knee busts, then it's like, I actually don't think I should do this.
Watch it.
That's
what I'm saying.
Like, bro, like you feel me? Like that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think Rodri is gonna play as many games in the future. I don't think players that hurt them don't laugh.
Damn.
That sounded crazy.
Damn, that was crazy. That was crazy. A nigga got shot. I don't think he gonna go outside as much as he used to. Come on,
Rodri gonna play more sports science.
Yeah. What I'm also trying to get at with the competitiveness is like these people who want to play every game. What they're saying is, yo, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's like, yo, I'm trying to give you my everything, but also like, dog, I can't run as fast. Like,
but PTO is cool.
That's
I think one of the things to highlight in
they
general
shouldn't even
too.
have to require PTO.
One thing to highlight in general too, though, is the fact that I think some leagues, I don't know, the MLS and NWSL, not that they have a union, but do they have a players collective in a way?
They do have player unions.
Yeah,
cool. So they have player associations and unions in a way that European teams and teams outside the US don't.
They do.
They do as well?
For sure. I think you legally have to almost.
In the same way, though.
I don't know about the same way. I think there might be like regional. Like I think there's like European players.
There's an EP. Do you think there's an EPL and there's a Serie A?
Yeah, it has to collect because that's how they get to collective bargaining agreements.
No, that's all right. Fair.
I have a question. Ethically, is there a salary number that is acceptable for a player to play like literally too much?
But I don't think money matters.
That's my question. My question is asking: is there a number that justifies?
Earlier to my point, there's diminishing returns for the fitness of a human body.
I understand
that with modern science we cannot push through yet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if my bank account is $1 million a day. Bro. My legs can't go.
The fundamentals. The fundamentals.
Essentially, you're risking the. So you know how a UFC boxer is paid a lot of money to get in the ring and get injured,
like NFL too, violence. You're saying it's worth it.
The biggest example is a boxer or a UFC fighter who gets paid so much money because the risk is that when they go compete, they're going to get hurt because they're literally fighting. A soccer player gets on the field maybe 150 times because the games keep increasing and they get paid, and there is a high chance that they'll get hurt.
Yes.
The UFC fighter takes the money because they look at the cost benefit analysis and they're like, hey, even if I get hurt, the money is worth it. Is there a number in soccer where, yes, I'm playing too many games, but even if I get hurt, the money is worth it?
No, I don't think so.
Like, probably for players, they have a number in their head.
But the
So what's
players,
the number?
but watch this, the players with the money are telling you no.
But if we're talking about ethics,
So they're not getting. So what is the number that Rodri?
I don't know, but
Vinny-
he and them are saying, let's play less games.
You're
So
trying to
Vinny
find the
all-
number.
I think if
the-
we're going back to,
It's also personal. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
personal.
think if we're going back to ethics, it's kind of fucked up to be like, oh,
what's your number?
what's the number that we should all be willing to accept for someone to
For our health to be diminished.
diminish their.
It's not even how to
health.
be diminished. It's the number that y'all will shut up. That's what it is.
Yeah,
With your diminished self.
because the
Quiet
boxing,
with your
the
fucked up
boxing
legs.
example is like, yeah, of course, niggas take millions of dollars
It's also
to
not a
like
team sport.
risk life, but like that's also kind of fucked up.
That's why some people don't fuck with the NFL. Look at Tua. He might have to retire now at like what, 3-4 seasons into because of the neck and head injuries. We know what CTE does to you.
Yep.
It's like that some people think should NFL players even be able to get paid that much to commit their lives to something that's going to turn them
it's
into
the same
you know what I
thing.
mean?
I brought up the investment banker example because that's like literally what's happening right now at all these like
Oh,
Yeah, it's
finance
true.
companies
Yeah,
where they're
it's
like
crazy.
they're forcing companies to like reduce the amount of hours that people work because like people are like, yeah, I'm getting paid well, I'm gonna literally work myself to death, but it's like niggas are committing suicide,
Literally.
niggas are like dealing with depression, all these issues, but like other people are like, well, they're getting paid well, so
Yeah.
but it's like, nah, we shouldn't accept that. Like the norm should be like,
Yeah.
yo, the people in charge should be responsible for ensuring the physical, mental, whatever wellness of their employees versus being like, oh, are they paying them enough to like
Yeah.
die?
Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of Scott Sports asking like just people around England
I did.
about it? He's like,
did.
I'm a plumber. Yeah. Just do it. You getting paid millions of dollars. It's like, all right, bro. Like, yeah, they say shut up. They don't care.
Get the
And yet
I get it
fully
too. I
get
get
that,
the
though.
working
I get the
class
sentiment.
pain and like, dog, if I had one of your week's salary, that could be 2 or 3 of my years,
Yeah.
literally, or more.
But they also
They'll get 200K pounds a week, but
But it's nuanced because they
It is
also don't
nuanced.
know
So
what
how do
all
you
it
feel
took to
about
get
how
there.
do you feel about that British plumber on Sky Sports who says just play like you're?
I understand where they're coming from. It's the same niggas that
Yeah.
live here and tell LeBron
Yeah.
shut up and dribble.
yeah, it
I understand where it's
not necessary.
it is. It's the whole idea of
It
like,
kinda
nigga,
is.
I have to go to work every day. You get to play basketball. Shut
Yeah.
up and just get your money. Like it's the same
Okay.
thing.
But
Sure.
also,
I understand the sentiment, but
I'm about to say something.
it's,
Crazy.
it's
No, you
also
explained that well. You explained that super
it's-
well.
Weak
it's-
as
it
fuck.
it's the I understand the sentiment and the deep anger that comes from is due to capitalism and
Yeah.
racism and just the system that we exist in.
Damn.
But it's also like, yo, like it's just I don't
No,
know.
you're right.
It's like
I
you
have
don't
some
you
really
don't
crazy
you don't
stuff.
know what it took for that person to get there. Like we hear all these footballer stories about how they grew up and their best friend died and they played football their whole life to avenge their best friend and
That
their
make Gabe
parents
smile.
and they
You know, I have
parents
something
they
about-
parents couldn't eat and so they was playing to feed their parents and like they got here
Crazy.
only because of all the hardship and they have to train every day of the week. They don't get to see their kids.
Whose story be this?
Bro,
when your uncle's like, yo,
Christ.
You can't
Enzo's
be-
story?
this is such
It's Enzo's
bro,
story.
we're laughing, but we're acting like these don't be footballer stories. Like,
100, bro.
Luis
100.
Diaz's father literally got kidnapped in Colombia,
he
bro.
did.
100.
Y'all
Like
did when I
these,
said it.
like these are the
Right.
things that people deal with,
Yeah, it's
and like
real
they're
life,
getting
it's real
paid a
life.
lot of money, but it's like, bro, your favorite footballer never sees his kids because he's
Word.
at training every
Yeah,
single
word.
day.
And to be honest, plumber, are you as good at plumbing as Rodri is at football?
He might be nice.
Niggas might be nice at plumbing, bro.
They might be
Is
nice.
he that good?
Their skills
Nah,
just
Is
because
he
not-
Ballon d'Or?
if he was Ballon d'Or plumber,
He would not
like,
be complaining.
he would be running his own company, taking over
That's
the whole
all I'm
UK.
saying too. That's all I'm saying too, bro. You'd be at every toilet in
It's a
England,
fact.
nigga.
It's a fact.
Alright.
Nah, it's a fact. If he was nah,
plumber,
that's a
plumber,
good point.
plunger.
That's a good point.
What is fuck, bro? You better
It's
talk.
like he's a mid-level plumber.
Yo,
Yeah.
mid-table plumber for real.
Yeah,
Not
definitely
even in the Prem.
fourth division.
Fourth division. He's
EFL
gonna see
though.
the video though.
Word. Good.
Oh, I don't know who he is, but yeah,
We'll get him on the pod, bro. We recording.
he can
England.
talk about his
yeah.
experience.
Word.
This nigga gay.
He can talk about his experience.
Speaking of,
The way this nigga just dismissed. He can talk about his experience.
nah, you should. I like that.
Um,
But a lot of just an exciting weekend.
Good episode.
On to another rivalry. We had the Derby della Madonnina. You feel me? And Seb, I just need you to cook.
Let me put my
bro.
jacket on.
I need you to cook, bro. Seb has a lot. I'm just gonna like pass it to Seb.
Let's fucking go.
And I'm gonna just let him talk.
This fucking go is killing me.
A lot happened.
Bro, that was you see Pulisic. He had 3 celebrations in
bro
at the
I saw that. I literally saw that.
My son jumped.
He said
that nigga shushed the crowd, and then he threw up the line.
Yeah, facts.
He said, "Let's fucking go."
In front of the Inter fans.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is too. Everything came out
Good.
at once.
He didn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do because he stole the ball. He won the ball back.
Yeah,
bro, that type of shit.
Off the throwing.
He won the ball back. Pushed it, kept pushing it for me, kept the ball tight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's
Love
a reason why he I think he wore did he wear the 10 at Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a little dribbler.
Yes.
Inter fans.
Ooh. Make sure the camera's on, Seb.
Please.
Yeah.
I have friends at the stadium. The match was an Inter match. So the majority of the tickets were Inter fans. It was 85% and 75% Inter fans.
Man.
Loudest fans in the stadium were still the AC Milan fans. Our stadium, our city, red and black, forever, for sure. Now, the most important thing about that game is that going into the game, AC Milan was okay. They haven't really performed too well. They only beat Venezia going into the season. They drew their first 2. Right now, we're level on points with Inter. It's a completely open title race, and not just in terms of like how Milan is looking, but also Torino is at the top of the table. Udinese is at the top of the table. Napoli is cooking. Inter is right there. AC Milan is right there. Juventus is right there. Roma is just about to get back on track. So the Serie A right now is looking like the most interesting league in Europe by far.
Love it.
Torino at the top of the table is crazy.
Yeah,
Empoli is up there as well. Like, I'm so excited for the Serie A season, especially because Napoli doesn't even have like European stuff to like bog them down in the winter. And it's looking like Lazio as well will figure it out. It's like 7-8 teams that could win the league, and it's not clear.
You think it's gonna stay like that?
Yeah, for sure. There's no reason why it won't. Like, big teams are going to keep dropping points. All the teams are still kind of figuring it out. There's all these different issues that are going on. And I think that there's so many cool narratives that it's definitely something that you have to keep an eye on. So,
Word.
How do you feel about Pully?
So, I've had some time to think about it.
Yeah.
I think Dempsey at the end of the AC Milan game said,
Yeah.
if he keeps up playing like this, he could be one of AC Milan's greatest players ever. And at first, you know, I kind of thought about all the different AC Milan players, and I was like, all right, that's a ridiculous statement.
Wild, yeah.
That's wild. However, he scored on his debut in the Champions League against Liverpool for this season. Scored against Inter in the derby. Big game player. Ultimately, a huge game player. So if we end up turning this season around, going far in the Champions League, and he keeps scoring in big games, I'm not saying he becomes like a top-level AC Milan legend because there's so many.
Yeah.
But he could be on the level of like a Kevin Prince Boateng or like maybe a little bit lower than how Ibrahimovic meant to the club. Somewhere in like...
that Pulisic 24, 25 season everybody remember.
Yeah. He'll become like one of those players that's very, very tied to the club. No one's going to put him on the Kaká, Ballon d'Or type level. But because he's American, because of the celly, because of the tattoo, because of like his energy, I think he has, and because of the way that the club will market him, I think he has the potential to be remembered as a very, very important AC Milan player.
Fair.
And he was nominated as one of the Serie A midfielders of the season in his debut season. That's serious, bro.
Yep.
Like, and they always talk about too, like, is Pulisic the greatest U.S. men's national team player of all time?
Yeah.
Talent, I think for sure. I think legacy's not there yet. I'd probably give it to Dempsey and Donovan still, just legacy.
Yep.
But talent, like just footballer, yes, to me.
He's very
And then by end of career, I think for sure.
You know,
First off, I've never seen an American at a club of this level ball out like this in these matches. We just haven't. You know what I mean? I saw Dempsey at Tottenham, Fulham, amazing. My favorite player, American player growing up to watch. Him and Josie Altidore, who had a great career too. Yep. But I think Pulisic is genuinely on another level, and he doesn't play like an American.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
And that
but
brings
this is what we about to start playing like, you feel me? So
that brings up a good discussion because one of the main things about Pulisic's talent is the way he could dribble past players.
Talk about
I'm saying horizontally, vertically. Frimpong, Boniface, discussed. I want to know what y'all feeling in terms of the definition of dribbling on the stat sheet and culture-wise. What does dribbling mean to y'all?
So basically, Frimpong and Boniface were talking. Boniface was like, dribbling past someone or running past someone is not dribbling. Frimpong was like, yes, it is. And Boniface was like, dribbling takes way more than just running past someone.
With the ball.
With the ball, of course. Yeah.
I think if I drag the ball past you in any fashion and I beat you as my defender, that's a successful dribble.
I agree with you.
Successful dribble on the stat sheet or like
both,
bro.
If I can, you know, when they just hit it around and just pure speed.
Bale, Mark Bartra.
There's all types of ways to dribble past someone. Sometimes it's the speed. Sometimes the horizontal set. Sometimes it's a meg. Sometimes I did 25 step overs and get past you like Ronaldo. Sometimes I get past you, cut back, beat you again. It's all a dribble, bro. I got past you. That's the point of it. So
yeah, the Bale example is my prime example of what it means to run past somebody and still have a successful dribble. Like that to me is the knowing like how to actually like run that circumference, the length that you kick it ahead, the place that you kick it ahead. It all like ties in. And that's somebody who's not like a step over, 5-star FIFA skiller. Like that's my bread and butter, bro. Because that's the one way I'm gonna get around you. It's still a dribble.
Man, Bale was hitting the edge of the 200-meter dash with that thing. That was crazy.
I think y'all not wrong in terms of like on the stat sheet, but culturally speaking, I think like it depends where you're coming from. So like the way I see it is like if you're doing that to somebody all game in Ghana, and then after like I dribbled you, he'll look at me like, bro, you didn't dribble me. Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like what that means to say like I dribbled you and you were just kicking the ball past me.
I beat you though.
You beat me, but you didn't dribble me. You know what I mean? Like dribbling is a little bit more like expression.
Skill.
Yeah, expression within it. You know, how you beat somebody with deception. I will say that like even, and like I said in the chat too, if it was just more so like pacing somebody down the wing, including like a certain amount of hesitation or deception where it's not such like, for instance, if you beat somebody with like that and they're faster than you,
I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean? Like if you're just faster than them and then you just take them on a race, that's valid too. But that's not dribbling.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing is that it takes confidence to kick and run. I think it takes a little bit more.
You might look crazy.
It's not just
call you American as fuck for that.
I mean,
bro, sometimes play.
Nah, it's a fact.
It does take
It takes
Even
confidence
Vinny
to kick and run. Is it a very?
No, he's saying just kick it ahead and
I agree.
I agree.
Oh, it sounded like you just meant kicking and running.
It just sounds American.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
It
like
takes confidence to kick and run.
Nah, putting the sauce on is crazy.
But like, what's the
Put
confidence
Cajun
factor?
seasoning on the accent.
Because you might just end up passing the ball to the goalkeeper or to the left back.
I mean, and it takes confidence to also do it, man. It's a skill of man.
No, they're both.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
For sure, it takes confidence to do that. But it also takes a certain level of like you have to back yourself to hit the ball far enough that it's weighted enough that you will get to it before the person in front of them gets to it, and before the defender is able to shield you off from it.
100%.
So
It depends how the distance of you and the defender too. Sometimes they hit it ahead super early and still beat him, which makes the defender look crazy.
No.
He was 10 yards there and he still got it.
Like if Bale turns to Bartra to your example, Bale turns to Bartra at the end of the game, he says, I dribbled you. Bartra can't say anything because Bartra looks crazy in that clip.
Crazy.
Bartra will forever look crazy.
No, I understand. But like, if that's the only way that you're getting past somebody, like I said, just
I see what you're saying.
for me, I think I'm just hitting more so on the cultural aspect.
Of course.
But it's a good discussion at the end of the day too. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it comes down to style of play.
Yeah.
Even bringing up the American aspect in terms of where we grew up.
Word.
You know, or if we go to Britain or places, you always bring up the fact that football isn't dead. And one of the main reasons is because in certain places like Brazil, they'll encourage people to try and skill their man because the one time it works,
Look at Vinny, bro. Every game.
Change the game.
He be torturing defenders, doing both of the things we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bad assist.
Travella
once a month. Travella assist. Yeah, type shit.
Yamal had a nice one too.
Yeah, he is wildin'.
That was a crazy.
My youth. He's balling out.
We have 5 minutes,
For
gents.
sure. Do you want to do that crazy story?
Yeah.
Crazy story.
It's a bit of a
these
somber
shirts,
story,
and
I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, these be hidden, bro.
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Good shit bringing up the dribbling too. That was a good selection out of the options. Yeah.
So this is a bit of a somber, more like on a less like high energy note, but I just thought it was unbelievable. I saw this before walking into the studio. So back in 2019, Argentinian striker Emiliano Sala passed away. He was playing for Nantes in France at the time, and he passed away while he was on a flight to England to sign for Cardiff City. When the plane crashed and the plane wasn't found for some time, it crashed in the English Channel. Today, news broke that Cardiff City, the club who he was going to go play for while he was on the flight, are claiming 120 million from Nantes in damages for Emiliano Sala. The Welsh club have called on a specialist data firm to assess the likelihood of the club staying in the Premier League in 2019 if Salah had not died in that plane crash. Cardiff have been forced by FIFA to pay Nantes 17 million for the transfer. In my opinion, I've never seen a club approach a player's death worse than this. Like, to hire a data scientist to figure out if the player had joined your club, would you have stayed in the Premier League? Would you have made the TV revenue from that? Then would you have been able to sign more players and stay in the Premier League longer? Would you have
would have, bro? You can't.
But I think it's like disgusting because
it's not even an injury; it's a death.
The player's family wakes up today and sees his name in the news. He has kids in the news, like, who then see the fact that Cardiff City is looking to make money from Nantes because they've done some data for which, if these kids' father was still alive, they would have made more TV revenue. That's like the logic right now.
It's crazy,
It's
bro.
insane.
Listen, that's why the football.
So when you were speaking about like
the football
healthy
industry,
that
in a business, that's why there's too many games.
Yeah, it's the same
Don't
mentality.
get cooked right now.
Yeah. But that's crazy, bro. It's also like, how can you do that when there's also injuries? Like, he could have signed and then been injured, and it could have been career ending. Like,
exactly.
That's just not how that works.
I
Bro.
wanna
Sometimes
know,
it's a failed medical. Now you're gonna sue someone because the player was. Nah, that's crazy.
I
That's like unmoral or dismoral, but also just like logically doesn't make sense. And how does your brain go there?
Yeah.
And then how do you have the conviction to like, no, I'm gonna legally pursue?
That's the thing. The conviction to
not even to
legally
just think
pursue
about it
is
at the dinner table,
unbelievable.
telling, but like, I'm gonna legally.
It's unbelievable.
There's a lot of yeses that got said to do.
Oh, a lot of yeses, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if clubs do this on the low too.
Nah, I mean just like
Sure.
to close it out, I guess, just like out of respect, I think we can all agree that that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
As you said, the conviction and the amount of yeses that had to be said to get to that point shows the mentality of the capitalistic like industry. And at the end of the day, like, one can only just feel for like the family because anyway, let's move on to something less somber.
Yeah. R.I.P. man.
Yeah.
Go.
Mine will not be less somber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine either. Well, I guess it's
And it
positive
will
spin to
take
it.
me some time because I have to read
Please.
a specific thing.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
just do the two shirts and then.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely not less somber.
All right. So on the topic of clothing, I'm wearing a very special T-shirt today. The T-shirt I'm wearing is a part of a project organized by a company called the Pressure Cooker Arts. They are a nonprofit art and advocacy organization based in the UK. It's gonna take me some time.
Please take your time, bro.
There are around 50 artists and influencers that are participating in a campaign that's going to be running a month long from September to the end of October. The fundraiser is for everything that's taking place in Gaza. The fundraiser is titled Gaza, You'll Never Walk Alone. In the front, we have that You'll Never Walk Alone in Arabic. In the back, it says You'll Never Walk Alone in English. The T-shirts are available in every size, ranging from small to extra large. There's a white version and there's a black version. All profits from each sale will be going to support the people of Gaza. And the profits of each sales will be going to people of Gaza and Palestine and supporting numerous organizations, including the UNRWA, MSF, Doctors for Change, and Makan, a UK-based organization which is run by Palestinians in the UK who are doing the work to uplift the voices of people suffering in Palestine. As I said earlier, it's a 1-month campaign. The goal is to raise $10,000, and we'll include some more information below with links so that you can purchase your T-shirt and support in any way that you can. Whether it's Mbappe talking about issues in France and encouraging people to vote against the far right in France, or Drogba speaking out against civil war issues in Ivory Coast. We've seen numerous times the impact that players can have on politics around the world. And so we're all encouraging players to speak up more about this issue, and fans alike. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Love to hear.
Just I'll add at the end, Free Palestine.
Absolutely, Free Palestine. And speaking of Free Palestine, I'm also wearing some very important clothing. So this is from Wear the Peace, also known as We Are the Peace. Wear the Peace, like to wear clothing, the peace, or We Are the Peace, kind of all put together. And so the shirt itself says Peace FC. They came out with both a home and an away kit. This is the home kit that has a design of the outside of a watermelon, which has become a huge symbol for solidarity with the people of not just Palestine, but kind of the world overall. Started there, but is now expanded. And so it's got a really cool design. Again, as I said, this is the outside of a watermelon. The away is the inside of a watermelon. We also have the dove of peace here on the chest, and then their logo, Wear the Peace, here on the right. And then on the sleeve, we have the flags of the DR Congo, Sudan, and Palestine, with about half of the proceeds going towards these different nations and different causes there. And to specifically call it out, for the around half of the jersey profits that go to the causes, we have 1/3 of it going to aid in Gaza through the Pious Projects, another third to aid in Congo through Friends of the Congo, and then another third to aid in Sudan through Charity Week. So yeah, just shout out Wear the Peace, another brand that's making a lot of really cool clothing dedicated to helping out the people of the world. I also have one that's just like a black hoodie that says human, but then the color gradient goes from white to black. Just to say that we all are human, and all of the proceeds, or a portion of the proceeds for all the clothing will go to some sort of cause. But yeah, this is the Peace FC jersey, the home kit. Get the home kit, get the away kit, get both. And yeah, go support them and support the people.
Show the sleeve.
Yeah, I'll show the sleeve again. We got Congo, Sudan, and Palestine. So we here. Absolutely. Anything else you want to say?
Not really.
Cool. We out.
We up.
Episode 66. Yeah. You know the vibes. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Peace.